Hello students, I welcome you all. This is me, Mr. Joseph Reddy, the Faculty of English. And as a part of it, today we are going to discuss about Unit 5, Reading C, the poem Abandoned. The word abandoned means rejected or left unwantedly, and simply here in this particular poem the meaning is left unwanted or rejected permanently. So this is what we are going to discuss about. Who is abandoned, why they are abandoned, and what happened to the abandoned one. So all are the contents of this particular poem of today. And here, when I was discussing to you about the social issues in my introduction, I already discussed about the child infanticide or female infanticide in India. And this particular poem Abandoned is connected to that particular aspect. And the present poem Abandoned is written by Dr. Suraya Nasim, whose poems are simple, easily read and easier to understand. Here, as I already told you, poetry is always written in simple words and it is heart-touching. It has always an inner meaning connected to some of the other things. So thus, we have to always understand the inner meaning of it and feel it and then follow it. So this is what exactly done by Dr. Suraya Nasim in all her poetry. And her poems, whichever are written, are almost are heart-touching. So it exactly touches the heart and then strikes the heart somewhere where it makes feel somewhat whatever we are supposed to do, and it also touches upon the responsibility that we have, maybe personally or in the society. So that is what her poems are meant about. Then here this poem is about a deserted child who is totally confined to the garbage bin. Here when you look at this particular poem, it's all about a deserted child, a deserted baby who was thrown, who was totally confined to the garbage bin. He was totally thrown in the garbage bin, dustbin, where all the useless things are thrown. A child who was the greatest creation of God, who was supposed to create so many wonders, has been simply thrown as useless one. And then, for some unknown reasons, the baby has been left in the dustbin. And whatever may be the reasons, we are not given here in the poem. But whatever might be the reason, maybe the parents did not want the child because of their poverty, maybe because of the illegal relation they might have been born, or maybe the baby was a female child and they did not want the child, or they had maybe excess children and they have thrown. Whatever might be the reasons, but still the baby was still deserted, was abandoned to the garbage bin. And here, the condition of the baby is really pathetic, pitiable. And anyone who looks at the child and the situation of the child really feels heart-touching. And then here, the mosquitoes and insects are eating the baby's little fingers. And the baby is crying bitterly for help. The tender baby, the baby one who was born, very, very tender. And when you go to the baby, even if you just pull a little harder, people say, no, you shouldn't, that's very tender, very soft. Such kind of baby, you just imagine the mosquitoes and insects eating away. And when the insects and mosquitoes bite us, we feel a lot of pain. And the baby there couldn't even express what the pain was crying bitterly for help. And then this merciless world is nowhere to help the small baby. And the baby was crying bitterly for help because of the pain that it had. But there is no one to help the baby. There was no one. This merciless world is ignorant of the baby's suffering. And the garbage bin is emitting foul smell and the bright sun rays are falling on it. And the garbage bin is emitting foul smell. As you know, garbage bin is known to be all the foul smells, all the useless things, all the dust, everything, all the wet waste, dry waste, everything, whatever is not useful for us, we just simply throw it. Whether it smells or doesn't smell, we don't mind. Anyone who goes to the garbage bin, we simply put the nose closed, or you just try to do like that, or simply do like this and then pass away from there, pass from that particular area. But we never stay nearby and then do something there. So thus here, the garbage bin is emitting foul smell and the bright sun rays are falling on it. And the day came and the bright sun was falling on that particular child. And as it was all taking place, no one was still bothered about the child. And what else is happening to the child further? The baby is hysterically crying, but there is no one to hear to baby's loud cries. Hysterically crying is bringing out all her emotions and then crying. At the top of the baby's voice, the baby was crying. The baby was crying for the help. At least maybe the baby might have understood this particular small aspect, because the baby was innocent of all other things. Maybe the baby might have thought, if I cry louder and louder, there might be some other other kind person who would help me. And that was the reason why the baby is hysterically crying, but there is no one to hear to baby's loud cries. The baby is in the mouth of death, in the fearful silent night. In the fearful silent night, the baby was about to die. The baby had been crying for help, had been suffering with pain. The mosquitoes and insects were biting one side. The other side, maybe there might be some other reasons where the baby was really suffering. Because of all these things, the baby was crying bitterly for the help. And the baby is referred to as an outcast of destiny. Here, this particular aspect called outcast of destiny is here. Outcast is the one here. Outcast means untouchable. As we discussed yesterday or in the previous video about the storied house Bayaji, he was untouchable, outcast. So here, he is outcast of destiny. Destiny is the fate. Generally when we talk, mostly philosophically, you say, it's my fate, it's my destiny. So I am written like this. And here, he is just simply thrown like an untouchable, left to his fate. The child was left to his fate. And the parents or whomsoever had thrown that particular child left the child to its fate, least bothered about the child who was newly born. And that's what here, outcast of destiny. The way Surya Nazim uses this particular word, this shows how negligently the child was thrown. And next, the baby breathes with great difficulty and pain. As I already told you, the foul smell was there and we can't really bear that foul smell. Being elders, we ourselves, when we cannot bear the tender baby who was newly born, think of that particular situation and the condition of the baby there. And here, it is breathing with quick gasps. Generally, when we face some problem, you do the quick gasps there. And the baby was taking quick gasps in order to get proper breathing, or in order to get a proper help, or in order to get certain things done properly. But still, there was no use and there was no help being contributed to the baby. The child lies there in the garbage bin like a solid waste, lonely. And simply, this particular small child was thrown into garbage bin where we throw the liquid, the solid waste. When we go to washroom in the morning, how we throw that washroom without any use, this small baby who was supposed to be God's creation has been simply thrown like a solid waste in the garbage bin, disposed in the garbage bin, lonely, without any care. And this particular thing is compared to so many children who are really deserted into the garbage bin. One side, there are many people, those who are suffering without children, and the people, those who get the children, are abandoning the children and killing the children where they do not want them, maybe whatever might be the for certain reason. Here, if you come further, the baby's lips are deep greenish blue in color, and its nose and fingertips are sea blue in color. So here, tender lips, and then here nose, fingertips, everything are very, very tender. If you just observe the newborn baby, so you can see all these things. The baby's lips are deep greenish blue in color, and the nose and fingertips are sea blue in color. So if you just observe the baby, then you can all observe these features of the baby. And then generally when the baby is born, the baby is supposed to lie down beside the mother to get the warmth of the mother. And the baby is wrapped in proper clothes or sweater or the clothes, so that the child gets the proper warmth. She is protected from all the insects, protected from all the bacteria or whatever it may be. The baby is wrapped in a proper way. But here, if you just look at, there is a tattered and torn cloth around the baby, so the child is shivering in severe cold. Maybe these people, those who have thrown, maybe it might be the parents or whomsoever had thrown the baby, simply wrapped in some dirty clothes, and then simply they threw the child. And here, whatever the cloth with which they wrapped the baby was tattered and it was torn, and the torn cloth around the baby. Now the cloth is removed, the baby is exposed to the outer atmosphere, outer weather, and then simply it was exposed outside into the open air, and the baby was shivering in severe cold. You can just imagine, we elders, when we go out where we can bear all, we ourselves sometimes can't bear such kind of cold and bitter winds. But still, if you look at this particular baby, we can imagine without any covering on the baby how she could bear. So that is what the pathetic condition of the baby. Next. At that time, a dirty cat comes to the hold bin in search of its food, the rats. Here, at that time only, there was a dirty cat which comes to hold bin in search of the food, rats. So the cats feed on the rats, and the cats know very well where its food is found, the rats. So a filthy, dirty cat, okay, came to the hold bin. It finds its food, rats, there in the bin. Soon after coming, cat generally doesn't make sound. It generally remains silent, trying to find out whether the rats are present or not. So here, the cat comes there, tries to find out near to the hold bin whether there were rats inside. So it finds its food. Yes, cat made it confirm. Yes, the rats are there inside. I can feed on the rats. So that is what the cat made confirmation, and then it was waiting for the right chance to feed upon it. The rats are busy tearing the baby's hair with their sharp teeth. Here, the rats, whomsoever were there, all the rats inside the garbage bin, they were gnawing. This is what the word used in the poem, gnawing, biting the tips of this particular ears. And then here, not only that, they were also tearing off the baby's hair. You know, the baby is very, very tender, and if you simply pull like this, the hair it comes out. So that much tender the baby is. So the rats were pulling out all the hair, and then they were biting the baby with their sharp teeth, and they are biting the baby's ears also. And here they are feeding on the baby fully on the body. They were trying to feed upon the baby. One side there were insects, there were mosquitoes. The other side the rats were biting, and on the other side the cold weather. So these many negative aspects they were bothering the baby, and the baby was crying bitterly. And here suddenly, after listening all these particular rats and the rats being present, the cat jumps in with a screeching meow, and the rats run with a clicking squeak. And then the moment the cat jumped in, all the rats started running away. All the rats, they went away from that particular place. Almost very fast, because they just wanted to save their lives. They just gave a clicking squeak, and then they went away from there without any particular late and delay. There is a total confusion in the garbage bin. Here, generally, when you talk about the garbage bin, no one is bothered about. So here, Suraya Nazim says there is a total confusion in the garbage bin. Here, that does mean that insects, mosquitoes, and all others, they are doing its own work. No one is bothered about the other one, and no one is in a systematic way. One has to come this time, another has to come this time. Nothing of that sort. So everything, there was a confusion, chaos, we call it as. So now here, the only sin committed by the baby is being born in this heartless world. Here, the baby has committed only one single sin, and that particular sin is the baby is being born into this heartless, merciless world. And thus, for the sin that the baby had committed, that she was or he was born, she or he was punished by being thrown into the garbage bin. So here, Suraya Nazim brings out, or tries to bring out the thought into the minds of the people about all the deserted children, abandoned children to the garbage bin. And she tries to bring out the sufferings, the difficulties that the child faces, or the children face, those who are thrown into the garbage bin. So, when we see next time at least, or if people, when they want to abandon the children, tell them that these are all the problems that the child has in the garbage bin. So do not abandon the children. Children are the precious gifts of God. So this is what the poem about. And now, we would like to just to bring to you about the poetess. Poetess Dr. Suraya Nazim was born on 10th November 1967 in Faisalabad, and she was a nationality of Pakistani. Okay, she belongs to Pakistan, and she also very actively participates in political phenomena. And then all other things, if you just look at this particular woman, she was very active in politics. And also, if you look at her poetry, the poetry of Nazim is straight from the heart. So she directly, whatever she feels, she directly conveys to the lovers of the poetry, and she tries to exactly reach to the hearts of the audience or the readers, so that it touches exactly to the heart, and it exactly attracts the people towards her. And if you just look at the poetry of Dr. Suraya Nazim, it has no fixed pattern. like a sonnet, ballad, or some other thing, rhyming, rhythming. So nothing of that sort. So there is no fixed pattern. So if you really want to touch the hearts of the people, sometimes we may not follow all this fixed pattern, and it doesn't follow any particular rule. So poetry has got, any language has got certain rules on which it is supposed to be based upon, and Dr. Surya Nazim doesn't follow any particular rule of poetry, and she has a free flow. The poems come as a flow. Flow here means that a free flow of poems. Simply it is given as a free flow, and as a free flow it exactly touches the people. Her poems are simple and easy to read, and hopefully easy to understand. When the poems are simple, they are simply read. When they are simply read, they can be hopefully easy to understand, simple to understand. So reach to the maximum number of people. If they are very simple, the people feel easy to read. If they feel easy to read, they feel easy to understand, and thus it reaches to the maximum number of people. That was the intention of Dr. Surya Nazim. English was her favorite subject, and she likes to write poems to touch the hearts of the people. And here she had English as her favorite subject, and she also wrote so many poems in order to reach to the maximum number of people and to touch the hearts of many people. Her poems were nominated for the Booker Award in the year 2013. So as she followed no rule, she followed no particular pattern, and she had free flow, she could reach to the maximum number of people. So thus they nominated, or her poems were nominated to the Booker Award in the year 2013. Now let us deal about the glossary. Now let us look at glossary. The word abandoned, abandon or abandoned is a verb. The meaning is left something or somebody forever, and you don't again take it into consideration or something into consideration. So thus we call it as abandoned. Next one is irradiating. Irradiating or irradiate is a verb. Irradiation is a noun. And here the meaning is send rays of light upon or light up something. So irradiating. So this is what the meaning of it. Next, shriek. Shriek is a noun, and the meaning is a short, loud, high cry. Maybe with excitement or with pain, with whatever you just give out. So maybe with fear. So whatever, maybe with whatever some emotions and feelings, when you give out a loud, high cry, then it is called as a shriek. Next word is hysteria. Hysteria is a noun, and then the meaning is uncontrolled excitement. Here baby's hysteria, it is mentioned in the poem. So baby's uncontrolled excitement, uncontrolled emotions because of the pain. And here hysteria, sometimes you can even use when you have uncontrollable joy also. So whatever it may be, uncontrolled excitement of different feelings, mixed feelings. So that is the meaning here. Next one, eerie. So eerie is an adjective, and the meaning is causing a feeling of mystery and fear. Eerie silence of the night. So that is what is mentioned in the poem, eerie silence. So eerie means causing a feeling of mystery and fear. Next we have the word destiny. Destiny is a noun here, and the meaning is power believed to control events, or simply we say fate. So this is what destiny. So there in the poem it is mentioned as an outcast of destiny, and we already discussed about this. Next, crap. Crap is also a noun, and the meaning is solid waste. So whatever we have, this is called solid waste. So these are all the meanings, glossary for it. With this, we are done with this particular poem called Abandoned. Hope to see you in the next poem, in the next lesson, or in the next unit, or in the next video. So, thank you all for being with us. Thank you all for being with us.